Okay, this Christmas I wanted to show a little something I did many Christmases ago, in 1981 to be exact. That was the year I got my first computer, which is this this particular Commodore VIC-20. It was a little more whitish in color. It yellowed over time, and big transformer power supply. My original cassette recorder for it. This isn't my original monitor. I actually had it hooked up to a TV, a Sony Trinitron at the time. But I also had my own programs. I don't know if you labeled yours this way or not, but I stored things with cassette. So I have the names of the programs. I may have either typed them in a book or typed them in myself or created myself some of my first programming projects. Like this one here. It says Merry Christmas. I can find it on the counter at number 30. So I'm going to go ahead and put this tape. Remember, this is 31 years old. I'll put the tape in, fast forward it to number 30 on the counter. Then I'll type in load. It says press play on tape, and we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, the other stuff that was in the scene there is part in the junk. It's just parts from other classic computers I was working with. And sorry about the wave on the screen. There's very little I can do about that with this particular video recorder, but you should still be able to see what it says on the display. Now it's searching for the program. Hopefully it finds it, and hopefully it does it without finding an error. It found the Merry Christmas program. Now this is one I typed up by myself, and I was just learning basic programming at the time, and I was learning to use the special characters that are on the keyboard of Commodore 8-bit computers to create a presentation. Everybody came to my family's house for Christmas, so I would load this up and play it on the TV that was in the family room over and over again. And you gotta remember, it's 1981, so what might not seem very fun or interesting now was, pretty fun and interesting in the past. Okay, it loaded up. I'll type list to see that we have a program here. I used a lot of poke statements. I was not an elegant programmer, but I got the job done. I basically drew stuff on the screen using the block characters, and I don't recall if I had played any music in this. We'll find out. The words Merry Christmas in green and red in the sine wave scrolling pattern, followed by a drawing of a Christmas tree and some presents under the tree. Not too bad, not too bad. And then it would just repeat over and over again. Then I decided to make an improved version. I'll hit stop, reset it here, and I'll fast forward the recorder to counter number 109, which had my next program, my Merry Christmas 2 program. Okay, we're at 109. I'll type load, press play on tape, and we'll wait for this one. Now I see on this list here I have Merry Christmas 2 at 109 to 129, and I have a Merry Christmas 3 at 153 to 179. Well, I found the Merry Christmas program. This one's Merry Christmas 2, but I believe I did not have enough characters left. I think you had 15 characters you can use for a program. And considering it was saved on tape, I can use the same name for all the programs on the tape if I really wanted to. Sorry for all this dead air while waiting for this to load, but that's kind of what we did back then. We just waited for programs to load, and not even very big programs. I mean, this is a 5K computer with 3.5K usable. It says load error. I might be out of luck here. Problem is I can see the program, but the Commodore BASIC and the VIC-20 was volatile. When there was a load error, even though you might see the stuff on a listing, certain memory pointers were bad, and if I tried to run this, it would most likely just not work or create some garbage output. But we'll give it a shot. It might work to a degree and then just stop working. Yep, out of date. So I think I had music set up on this one, and it was going to play some music, but it ran out of music notation, which was stored in data station. Now, you saw in the previous listing, you saw the data statements. Now the files got all messed up. After line 1470, it goes to 34048. Something got corrupted there, and unfortunately, that's what happened with many cassette files. And not the fact that it's 30-some years old, but the fact that that's just how some of the Commodore stuff was. If you didn't treat your tape properly, or if it got near a magnetic field, it can corrupt everything. But not to worry. We'll go into the Merry Christmas 3. Which is at 153 on the counter. And whoops, L-O-A-D. Let's see, let's try this again. L-O. These older computers, they get bad keyboards. Load. Let's play. I also did something for New Year's, 1982 New Year's. Very similar effect, some scrolling display followed by a graphic and music. And hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers on this, that this version of Merry Christmas works. Oh, I do have another Merry Christmas on side too. I must have been constantly trying to improve this program while saving the older versions. So we'll let this load. This one's taking longer because obviously it's a larger program. Yeah, the way you did music back then is you had to specify notes by using a number. A number would represent a certain frequency to play. Now you had three voices plus a noise channel, and you would reference this guide in a book. If you wanted a middle C, it would be a certain number. And then I use a series of data statements to create a list of numbers to work with in sequence. My data statements would have, and I'll list it here. Looks like this loaded without an error. All these draw the pictures. These data statements are my musical numbers. It would be a musical note followed by a duration. So I would use the read command in BASIC for those who remember how BASIC worked in the past. I would read one number, then I would read the next number. First number was the note, next number was the duration. And I would just keep repeating that, playing that note at that duration. This part looks familiar. Believe it or not, it was actually pretty cool to have a computer that did color like this and played music like this. I had 2 songs on this one. And then it would scroll again. Let me stop this. Flip the tape. Rewind that one because this is on. I have to get the tape counter in sync again. So since this Merry Christmas 4 is on the other side, I have to rewind side 2. And this was a rather long tape. It was a 90-minute tape. So it was a Radio Shack realistic 90-minute tape, so it had 45 minutes of tape on each side. So it took a little while to rewind the whole thing. Okay, now it's rewound. I'll fast forward to number 117, which, if it focuses in camera, will not focus in camera. Oh well. You'll just have to trust me that I'm going to fast forward this to counter 117. 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 117. Okay, L, O, my sticky A key, D, press play on tape. Once again, it's still a file that's under an actual 3.5K. That's 3,500 characters, and it's going to take 22 counts on the tape counter, 117 to 139, and it's on 125 right now. I wish I could have had a disk drive at the time, and then I would have never experienced or had the fun experiencing tape usage continuously. Okay, it says it's searching. I may have forgot to do one thing important. That is reset the tape counter. Unfortunately, the camera I'm using tends to overheat when it does high definition movies, and it's a combination SLR movie camera, a Sony is it Alpha A580. It does full HD movies, but it overheats internally and it shuts itself down, so I thought I'd queue everything up and get Merry Christmas 4 loaded. I got a load error, unfortunately. We'll see what happens here. I'll list it. See a lot of data statements, but I don't expect those to work out well. Let's see what we got here. I completely forgot I did this. Those color effects are coming from changing the foreground and background colors so fast it doesn't keep up with the screen refresh. But as you see, I got a little more proficient with programming. Honestly, I don't remember doing this, but I'm the only one who ever wrote programs onto this tape, so, age is getting to me, I guess. And even with the load error, it worked. That's amazing. So as you can see, I went from, programming simple graphics and scrolling text to something a little more complex, all between October of 1981 and, Christmas of 1981. So it was a fun program, or a fun computer to program for. And the block character graphics that Commodore was famous for made it really easy to do this. I just had to map out the screen on graph paper. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. It's not a big graphic demo, but it's a snapshot in history. Maybe by New Year's I'll put another one up for what I did for New Year's Day 1982.